definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Tuesday. Good morning, and welcome on to the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app, brought to you, as always, by Happy State Bank, alongside Taylor Beadles. Once again, in for the one and only Jeff Axton. I'm Chois Woodman. We got Lucas White across the way taking care of us on this Thanksgiving Eve.
I don't know if I've ever heard it like that, but I like it.
The, what are we at? No, I'm not even going to try. I was going to try to get cute with my English, but no. Not with an English teacher next to me. So
dangerous game.
Yeah, not gonna go after that one. Y'all can chime in if you got any thoughts, comments, questions, whatever you want to bring in. Do so on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app, as we're with you for the next 3 hours. It's a Tuesday, so we got our Tuesday staples like tiers of 12. We will go through the Big 12 conference as we see it. Still no championship game decided as far as teams that will play in it, but Texas Tech can play spoiler to an extent. We're going to do our very best to take you through all the scenarios that the Big 12 released and not get confused ourselves, because it is extremely confusing.
Yes. I think Tech technically still has a chance.
Are they still alive?
Yeah.
Okay,
if my sources are correct.
For some reason, I thought with the OSU loss that
I thought that
killed
too.
It. Okay.
But
so they're still out. I mean, still.
I think that technically, yes.
I mean, Lloyd Christmas levels. So you're So you're telling me there's a chance.
You would get like to tiebreakers, like who has the best Mexican food.
Okay.
Like I don't even know. Like
hey, I mean,
that's the level of tiebreaker we would be getting.
It depends what we're talking. I mean, because if we're going tacos, it's gonna be hard to beat some of those further south. Yes. But we got some decent Mexican food in town.
Yeah.
So, that's we'll go through some of those scenarios. Also, college football playoff. This might be the most expansive playoff opportunity we've seen heading into the last week of college football in quite some time. Since this thing started, you can pretty well pick the 4, maybe 5 or 6 teams. It's been a maximum of 6 teams where you're like, that team deserves a spot in the 4-team playoff. Since this whole thing started, now you've got 9 teams right there that have a case.
Yeah.
As of right now. Now we'll see what happens going into this final week and into the championship weeks, but we'll run through some of those possibilities. Talk a little hoops. The Red Raiders are in the Bahamas today, prepping for a matchup with Villanova. Do you have any disdain for Villanova?
I mean, a little.
I mean, they knocked you out of the 18 tournament. I don't really have much beef with them.
No,
like
not
I
a
have
ton.
more hatred for Virginia.
But I think this goes to my Mavs fandom a little bit.
I do too.
And so like I'm a little annoyed with Jalen Brunson and that whole situation.
Okay,
I associate him with Villanova.
That's fair.
So I'm like, now they have that whole Villanova army on the Knicks. There's like 5 former Villanova players that all play in New York together.
So he was phenomenal for them the last time Texas Tech played Villanova. I mean, to me, that's one of the best college basketball teams we've seen in the last 15, 20 years.
And I usually only watch losses like once when they happen.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking if we could have just like made layups, we would have had a chance. You know, like I remember missing a bunch of bunnies and thinking if Keenan was healthy, or
a lot of point blank shots. Yeah, Keenan. There's a lot of what ifs there,
and that's what's crazy because I agree it is one of the best college basketball teams.
Sure.
And Tech should have been right there.
Didn't that team? Was that the one that just boat raced Kansas in the Final Four?
That's a good question.
I think
that was
they won
2018, right?
Yeah, 2018. I feel like they won that one by like 30 points.
Because it was the year before
against Kansas.
It was a couple years before when North Carolina beat them at the buzzer.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think.
Because they shared three-pointer. I think North Carolina hit a three with like 2 seconds left, and then Villanova came down and
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Nova won in 16 and 18.
Yeah.
This is as close to a blue blood of not being a true blue blood as you'll find in college basketball. That being said, this is a winnable game for Texas Tech tomorrow. So I'm very intrigued to see this matchup because we finally get to cast some judgment and learn about.
Oh, that was in the
Texas Tech.
semifinal. Sorry.
Against KU?
That was 95-79, and then
my gosh.
They beat Michigan in the final 79-62.
Yeah, that team just ran.
That was the Sister Jean
I'm pretty
year.
sure. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Texas Tech played Villanova closer than anybody else in that tournament.
That is true. I do remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, well, I say that. It was 71-59, so it was about like everybody else.
Well, I think 12 points was the closest margin that Villanova faced the whole tournament, if I remember correctly. It's not that close, but it was still closer.
It felt closer in the moment, for sure.
Yeah, I think it stretched out a little bit towards the end. But nonetheless, you get that game tomorrow. Should be interesting on that front. It is it's feast week, so you big Thanksgiving guy?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, on the holiday power rankings.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like Hacks, I think he's Thanksgiving number 1.
That's fair. I think
I'm not.
No, I think it's really hard to take Christmas. Like that's just it feels unfair. But Thanksgiving is probably 2.
2?
Yeah. I'm a big it probably goes Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. Like I just like the fall, winter.
Okay.
And so I'm taking all those there.
I'm definitely Christmas 1. I think Thanksgiving probably falls 3rd to me.
Mm-hmm.
I may go 4th of July.
Yeah, that would be the one. Yeah, and see, I'm like a big Memorial Day weekend guy. So like, does that even count? I don't know.
I think it counts.
All right, or people like Clint who will like say, "Oh, my birthday is."
Clint would definitely
this is my second favorite holiday,
and he would think that everybody else should think it's the best holiday out there too. So yeah, so tell us. If you'd like your favorite holidays, Thanksgiving spread, what that looks like. You could tell us the best dishes, the worst dishes, what you're attacking first, whatever. We're wide open today, so y'all bring that in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app as we'll get into a little bit of everything, hodgepodge today, as we're talking some football specifically, looking ahead. Normally, on this show, Wednesdays are Bob Seger days. We turn the page.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We turn the page towards the next opponent.
Right.
But we got a shorter week this week, so we're going to make it Tuesday, and we will turn towards the Texas Longhorns. I've heard a lot of fans just kind of giving up on this game. And well, I think
it's me. I'm fans.
No, I mean, I'm not going to lump you in, but I think this is absolutely your toughest matchup you face this year, or toughest game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unwinnable. We'll get into that. It's the end of the bench. Hanging with you till noon. We got headlines next on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's time for a few headlines. What you need to know, part of the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois, Woodman, Taylor, Beadles joining you from the First United Bank studio. And we'll start the headlines off with Lady Raiders as they win last night over UTSA, 63-58, taking down the Roadrunners last night. I got to be honest, didn't watch much of this game.
No.
Turned it on a little bit and then got to doing other things. But I was following along, and 63-58 seems a little close for you forcing 31 turnovers in the game.
Yeah.
I guess he just didn't convert those.
I was following it while I was watching the Monday Night Football, and it seemed like Tech would kind of pull away a little bit, and then UTSA came back, and they took a pull away a little bit. And so
Yep.
Who knows?
But do move to 5-0. That's what's important. And they will next be in action. They'll get a little break for Thanksgiving. Next be in action on Friday, heading to Las Vegas for a tournament there. They'll take on Rutgers on Friday. You'll catch the game on 107.7. Yes, FM, that game that we're talking about that a lot of us watch, Chiefs versus Eagles, did not go so swimmingly if you're a Pat Mahomes or a Chiefs fan.
Brutal.
A lot of opportunities for the Chiefs in this game.
Yes.
A whole lot. This is one where you feel very empty-handed if you're the Chiefs because you just had time after time of scoring opportunities or defensive opportunities and just couldn't finish it off. Eagles do finish it off, even though Mahomes drops one in the breadbasket of Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah. And he had like that throw the pick that he threw in the end zone was one of the his worst throws that I've seen in a long time.
Surely he didn't see the safety, right?
I think
He's
he
not
saw
trying
it.
to test it.
I think he saw him and just didn't think he could get there, and then his throw was bad enough that it let him get there.
Man, yeah.
But yeah, then Kelsey fumbles on the 10 or whatever, inside the 10 maybe. It was just
just chance after chance for the Chiefs. But they end up losing that one 21-17. So the Chiefs fall back to 7-3. Eagles now 9-1 on the season. We'll have early football this week for you with the Dallas Cowboys, of course, coming up on Thanksgiving Day, taking on the Commanders. Still not used to it. They're going to change that back or change it to something else.
They did. There was rumors of that when they sold, when Snyder. The Commanders is so bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of options out there. I personally liked Washington football team.
Yeah, I did too.
Like, that's
Surprisingly,
better than the Commanders.
It was it was definitely one of those where like everybody made fun of it, and then everybody's like, this really isn't that bad.
Yeah, a nice little ring too.
Yeah. So I was, or they even had because they do like the Hogs or whatever. Like they had some mascots like that kind of themed. It was like, why? Yeah,
just go with it.
They look and sound like a team from any given Sunday.
In the NBA, the Spurs lost to the Clippers last night, 124-99. Rockets lost to the Warriors, 121-116. All three Texas NBA teams will have the night off. Tonight, hockey, we got the Stars. They won over the New York Rangers 6-3 yesterday evening. So
Madonna getting a statue.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like if Dirk's got one, I'm not trying to compare basketball to hockey in Dallas, Texas, but if Dirk's got one outside the arena, Madonna should have one. Yes. Both of them brought their teams singular championships, and they were, I guess the GOATs for lack of a better term.
It will be cool to have like a Dirk statue on one side, and Madonna on the other. I think the only part that's kind of weird is Madonna's been weird since like their whole retirement thing, and then now he works for another team. Like that's probably the biggest difference, but that really shouldn't matter in terms of what he did play.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Stars now 12-4-1 on the season. They've been off to a pretty blazing start. Texas Tech in the Bahamas tomorrow. As we mentioned earlier, they'll take on Villanova. The Wildcats, I think we'll get a line some point this afternoon. That's usually how it works. I was wondering if they'd release anything earlier for these Thanksgiving tournaments since you get some time in between, but doesn't appear so. We'll probably get a line. Predicted line for you.
I'm so bad at these. What like I don't even know. What are you thinking?
Villanova -4.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be a big line. I do think Villanova will be favored, but I don't think it's going to be huge.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying. I was thinking like closer to 10.
10?
Just because at this point you see, Tech's not ranked and they've beat no one, and then Villanova, yes, they have that pin loss, but it almost feels like brand name goes a long way in these early.
Sure, but I don't think it goes a long way with Vegas.
That's a good point.
Vegas is there to make money, so I could be way off. You may be right on that. I think that's what's so hard to predict. But I mean, Vegas, you see the lines scattered so much early in the season because they're figuring out teams and trying to know who teams are. But We'll see. I think it will be a slight Villanova favorite, but we'll find that out a little bit later today. Of course, you'll be able to hear that game starting at 12:30 with a 1:30 tip-off tomorrow on Double T 97.3. We'll also have it on 100.7 The Score. And then winner and loser will take on the winner and or loser from the Northern Iowa and North Carolina game.
Oh, speaking of Northern Iowa, we could really... Clint keeps getting mad.
I know. We keep trashing the Jayhawks. So that's, I mean, Northern Iowa. We're all Northern Iowa fans.
Yes.
I mean, outside of a potential game on Thursday.
I'm mad that I can't remember.
Did to the Jayhawks.
Who is? I got to look it up.
Oh, the guy's name. He had the weirdest name.
I know, and I'm mad that I can't remember it.
What is his name?
It was like Greek.
I used to know his name by heart.
Okay, yeah. I should have known it.
What is it?
Up. Farouk Manesh or Farouk
Manesh?
Farouk Manesh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about it. Yes. What a game. I love that game.
Yeah, Ali Farouk Manesh, yeah.
Hopefully Clint's got his radio off. But you see Clint's homeboy, Kevin McCullough?
No.
What he did last night?
No.
First ever KU player with back-to-back triple doubles.
I did see the one because one of the NBA draft guys I followed was looked at the one from a couple nights ago, his first one.
Yeah, so you got another triple double last night. Crazy stuff there. And I hope he fails a lot. Also have Friendship basketball for you on the airwaves this evening. Friendship and Lubbock Cooper going at it out at the Tiger Pit. You can listen in on Double T 97.3. Girls game starts at 6. Boys will be at 7:30. Always some fun times when those two teams get together. And some NBA for you on our airwaves here on 100.7 The Score. Cavs at 76ers. A little NBA on ESPN. You two can join us. Whatever thoughts, comments you got, bring those in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. The same as you, Choice. 1, Christmas. 2, 4th of July. 3, Thanksgiving. Hello, wild card for Dallas after last night.
Yeah, that probably sealed it. Who knows? But
what do the Eagles have left? I mean, besides
they do
Dallas,
have some tough games left.
Yeah, they. I don't think it sealed it because
they have the Bills, which who knows how tough that actually is.
So the Cowboys' remaining games.
What killed the Cowboys was the Arizona loss.
Yeah, that's the tough one. But the Cowboys' remaining games, you got the Commanders, the Seahawks, both of those home games,
and the Seahawks may. I don't know what Gino got hurt the last game, so
and then the back-to-back Thursday games too. And then the Eagles at home. So you got 3 straight at home, which is almost unheard of in the NFL. It doesn't happen almost ever. So 3 straight at home. If you win that Eagles game, you're going to be a game back, most likely, with the Bills at Bills, at Dolphins, Lions at home.
That's tough.
Commanders on the road. So, yeah, 3 out of the last 4 are pretty difficult. For the Eagles, they've got a similar schedule in terms of toughness, but that 2-game lead so they got Bills at home, Niners at home, but the fact that it's at home is Cowboys on the road, at the Seahawks, Giants at home,
I guess it's
Cardinals, Giants. Yeah.
It is not sealed unless you lose to the Cowboys, lose to them at home. If you beat them in Arlington, then anything could happen.
If the Cowboys stay at 3 wins, like if you won out, Cowboys are going to have a chance.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised to see the Eagles drop more than 3 games total.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. Tough games for them coming up. Pretty easy schedule to finish opposite for the Cowboys. We'll take your thoughts. Keep them coming on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. See you end of the bench on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging with us on a Tuesday. It's the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois, Woodman, and Taylor Beadles here in the First United Bank studio. Keep the thoughts and comments rolling in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Whatever you got, bring it in. We'll get back to a few more of yours, go through some of those Big 12 tie-breaking scenarios, and I guess a potential possibility for Tech to still land in Arlington, maybe. But we'll do that in about 15 minutes. Right now,
Tears of 12.
Okay, so we do this every Tuesday. This is the final regular season version of Tiers of 12 for the Big 12 Conference in football. I've had as many as 5 tiers at a time. I've broken it just to 3 at this point in the season. Okay. So my bottom tier, which these names are not going to be near as good as yours apparently, but these are the you guys suck and not going to a bowl game tier. That's Cincinnati at the bottom, 14, Baylor's 13, Houston 12, BYU 11, TCU 10. Okay. And BYU adjusted for me this week. I mean, a week ago they looked like the worst team in the league, but yes. I have to take the close game against OU into account. The next tier is decent teams, but not top tier. That's UCF at 9, Iowa State 8, Tech 7, West Virginia 6, Kansas is 5.
Okay.
I think. I still don't know how I feel about that. And then the Big 12 title contenders, 4 OU, 3 OSU, 2 Kansas State, 1 Texas. Even though I know OSU and Texas are probably the most likely matchup that we have, Kansas State, I think, is a better football team than.
Yep. It's kind of how they are every year.
Yeah.
Like if they're the best team, I would almost say I didn't put them 1, but like I would probably pick them to win against anybody tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish there was a better scenario where we could get Kansas State into the Big 12 championship, because I think they give you a better chance to win over Texas than OSU. So there's mine.
So I did tiers based off Thanksgiving food.
Okay.
So I started down below with salad, any kind of salad. I don't have room on the plate.
That is a great point. I mean, like, who's touching the salad
at
Thanksgiving?
Know. The people do.
All the other options.
And so that is Baylor and Cincinnati. I think they are far and away the 2 worst teams.
They're the salad.
Yeah,
okay.
They're the salad. My next tier is broccoli casserole. Like, I get why it's there. I'm not going to have any. Yeah, I understand its allure. It's just something covered in cheese, but I'm not into it. And so that's TCU, BYU, and Houston. I guess I would have TCU the best of those, then BYU, then Houston. Because like you said, the BYU loss, I think they're just one of those. I think it's going to be this way the whole time we're playing them. Is going there is going to make that game difficult, regardless of how good they are. Because even if you were as healthy as you could be, I think you win probably by 7 or 10. You know, like it's still. I don't think you would have blown them out. You know, and so my next tier, this may be the controversial one. This one is turkey, because turkey can be awful, very bad. There are very few times in my life where I'm like, man, this turkey was outstanding. Hill Barbecue on 34th does some great turkey. And then this past weekend, one of my friends, Logan, made some great turkey. But it's very rare. So it's got a high ceiling, low floor food to me.
Agreed.
So that's why it's kind of in the middle
like
here.
Yeah.
What teams? I had 2 teams. Which ones do you think I have in that tier?
Okay. I'm trying to think of who you've already eliminated.
Sorry, that may be an unfair question.
Yeah. Go from bottom up who you've said already.
Cincy, Baylor, Houston, BYU, TCU.
Okay, so your turkey tier has got to be UCF and Tech.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, the 2 teams that play this weekend. They could theoretically beat and lose to everyone on this list.
Okay, yeah, I think
so that's turkey to me.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, and then so one right above turkey is rolls.
Okay,
great. but it's like, to me, that's not like, it is a necessary Thanksgiving food, but it also has a life outside of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that like,
it's not what you're there for.
Right. Yeah. So West Virginia, like, they're okay, cool. Nobody cares. Like, people still want Neil Brown fired and hired Jimbo. Like, even you're having a great year. So cool. Good for you.
How did they? I'm done. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Next one up, mac and cheese tier. And this is another one team tier. And this is Iowa State. Again, just kind of, I will eat it. It's there.
Is
it's
this
good.
just because they look like mac and cheese?
Yeah, maybe that's why.
That's the reason.
It's you just know you're not going to be disappointed. Like, even that game against Texas, like, it ended up not being super close, but it was still an enjoyable watching experience up there in Ames. So yeah, they're my mac and cheese team.
Okay.
Next tier is mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Again, this we're getting into the staples, and if these things, my plate is going to have.
You have to have them,
yeah. And so this is Oklahoma State and Kansas, and these are teams that I don't really think are that good, but they are better than everybody else. Like Texas beat one, or Tech beat one, lost to one, or not lost, didn't play one. Sorry, but I would have assumed probably would have lost to them, depending on when you played them.
True.
And so it's like, they have to be here, but I don't really know what they're providing. And then dressing, that's Kansas State OU. Just because, like I said, like, they are, like, I would honestly, like, I guess with a healthy Dylan Gabriel, those two would be worthy Big 12 title game. Like, I don't think Oklahoma State is a good enough team to play in a Big 12 title, but I think Kansas State and Oklahoma are. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, well, they should be Oklahoma.
Are you really going to put Texas as the pecan pie?
No, I didn't do desserts.
Okay.
Texas is ham. Like, it just.
Oh,
yeah.
What a controversial thing.
Ham is so much better than turkey.
I agree with that. But
and so, like, they like,
I mean, you're disrespecting the bird 2 days away from his day.
Yeah. So Texas is ham, far and away the best team. Unfortunately, I still not totally sure. Like, I mean, like, think of all the things that had to go wrong for them to, like, lose against OU. Like, it was just like a comedy of errors, and a lot of, like, they allowed that.
But they've flirted with some fire the last few weeks.
They have, but they've also had QB issues. Sure. And I guess
as almost everybody in the league.
My biggest thing is, like, I'm almost more impressed with their ability to stay with that one loss, because, like you said, they have had some close calls, but, like, that's the Texas-ness of them. Like, they almost have to be. It's almost like similar to the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys are going to have to be so good to overcome the Cowboys of it all. And Texas is the same way. Like, the fact that they've still only lost one, to me, says they're better, because they haven't had a Texas moment, which is unfortunate.
I'm with you. I mean, it's but you know what? Ham can still go bad. It can get burnt.
It can. Yeah.
Right? I mean, you cook it too long, that honey glaze gets hard, and it's just not as good as it could be.
It could definitely go. All of these things could go wrong, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, you can dry out the stuffing. You can, like, there's things that can go wrong.
Absolutely.
The turkey is the one that, you're right, has the best chance to go wrong of anything. But
you do turkey wrong, your house could get burned down.
So PSA, people. No, I thought about joking, but no, better not. Don't drop the frozen turkey into the air fryer.
Yes. Yeah.
Those videos are phenomenal to me. Watching the firemen show the example of, hey, this is what happens.
It goes up so fast.
Frozen turkey into an air fryer, just a bomb.
The great one that I had this past weekend was smoked. And I think that's probably the secret.
I like the air fryer, I'm saying air fryer. I'm
but we knew what you meant.
The fryer.
Yes. I'd like to see you
my brain's broken.
Air fry a turkey.
Now drop the frozen turkey into the air fryer and see what happens. Actually, just put it in the microwave. Let's see what happens. Frozen turkey. No, but yeah, when smoked turkey, when you get that done right, that's the best way to have it.
Absolutely.
The best way.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Rolling on to hour number 3. You're hanging with the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you, as always, by Happy State Bank. alongside Taylor Beadles, who's in for Jeff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Glad that you've chosen to make us part of your Tuesday. Keep hitting us up. Your thoughts, comments, questions, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. We will get back to some more of those thoughts and comments, but wanted to look at playoff possibilities, college football playoff possibilities, as the rankings. Did they get released last night? I think so. The last ones. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Either way. The current rankings. So, no, they haven't put them out. I guess, do they even put them out today?
It's either today or tomorrow.
I'm mixing up my days. Yeah. I was thinking yesterday was Tuesday.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes. That's what happens.
When you have a Friday game and you got Thanksgiving in the middle. Yeah. So no, I believe they'll put out their final playoff rankings tonight before we get the real ones. And this is our last ones of only 4 teams.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Insanity of 4 teams with 5 Power 5 conferences goes away, except we're actually losing one of those Power 5.
Yeah.
That's the irony of it all. It's like we've had 4 teams in with 5 Power 5 conferences. But we're going to get rid of one of the conferences and expand it to 12 teams. So makes a lot of sense. Right now, though, it's Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State are your teams sitting in the college football playoffs if the season were to end today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michigan and Ohio State are going to play against each other. We've got that. You got Washington that's sitting out there still unbeaten.
Mm-hmm.
This is the latest I can remember in a season in a while where you have 4 undefeated teams. Or 5 undefeated teams. Oregon's sitting at 6 with their only loss to Washington, at Washington. Texas is 7. Bama's 8. Missouri's 9. And Missouri absolutely has a case, too, with as well as they've played.
It's just so weird.
If they were to run the table, I guess they can't get in the college football playoff unless Georgia wins.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it seems like. But you got 9 teams that are right there. Is there anybody out of that group that doesn't deserve to be in the conversation or wouldn't be in there?
Not at this point, I don't think.
This feels like one of those years where you definitely need more than 4. There's years where it's like, why are we even playing this thing?
Yeah.
LSU's better than everybody.
Right. Yes.
Joe Burrow, LSU's better than everybody. Georgia, I mean, they're running the table, so what do we need? What do we need this for? But this time around, it feels like you've got a lot of legitimate teams that you face them against anybody, and it could be there. Mm-hmm. If we had a 12-team playoff right now, you have those four teams that with a bye, which Ohio State and Michigan wouldn't stay that way.
Right.
So most likely Washington would jump in there. And Ohio State or Michigan would fall out, which Michigan, I believe, a 4-point favorite right now going into
something like that, yeah,
into that game. But then you get, I mean, how attractive would these matchups be? You get number 5 Washington against number 12 Penn State. Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
6 Oregon up against Oregon State.
That'd be great.
Now, again,
they play this week.
They're going to play this week, so that's going away. But you're going to get a good matchup there. 7 Texas against 10 Louisville. 8 Alabama against 9 Missouri. Man, I cannot wait until we get this 12-team college football playoff.
It's going to be fun.
I've never understood what took so long.
And maybe I'm crazy here, but when we go to 12, I would be okay with them getting rid of conference championship games.
I don't think it's that crazy.
Because I don't really see, because I mean the whole point was having another data point for the committee,
right?
And we don't really need that anymore. Because like if you win your conference,
but there's no way they'll do that because of money,
right?
Cash flow,
yeah.
Because that's a pretty big bullet point for the Big 12 conference. You get to play at Jerry World, get to have Nelly there,
and present a championship belt,
with partnership with the WWE, So, yeah, we got the college football playoff that actually is more attractive this year. And I don't know that there's a lot of years you really feel like you can predict what's going to happen. I'm not sure we do know this year. You still got 5 undefeated teams. You'll have likely 4 undefeated teams when the college football playoff happens.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia is still perceived as the best, but heck, we haven't had a 3-time repeat champion since I think the 40s, the 30s or 40s.
Something like that. I remember seeing that somewhere.
So, yeah. Not sure. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
They'll have 6 undefeated teams.
Say what?
I said there will be 6 undefeated teams.
I'm sorry, Liberty. My bad.
Liberty, they're going to pull a James Madison, just lose a random game.
They might. Watch
They
out.
play UTEP. Come on now.
That would make it even worse, man. Is Dana Dimmel still the coach over there?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. All right. Headline left the part out. Max Scherzer quoted orthosurgeons who said pitch clock.
There we go.
Yeah, I might want to put that in the headline, but only so many words. What happened to Tech the last 2 times we played in Austin? Lost bad. Huge. And lost pretty bad. 70-35 on that game that Tyler Shuck went down. 49-24 the time before. I don't remember that game as much.
I don't either.
2019
game? That was the one. You had
started?
one scholarship running back. Jax Welch.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, there's a reason I've forgotten that game. But heck, why do you have selective memory, Texter? Why are you just handpicking the last 2 times in Austin? Go the 2 times before that. You won back-to-back in Austin there. So, again, there was a stretch where in Austin you would look at it as impossible.
Yes.
Because just the mental block there, just like it is, anytime you play Kansas State, feels impossible at this point. But you have won there 2 times in the last 4 years. They were both close games. I don't know. I'm not dismissing the game. Again, not trying to sugarcoat anything. This is probably the best team you've played, unfortunately. But it is a team that has flirted with some danger. And Tech's going to have to big time limit mistakes within this game if they're going to want a chance to win. But not impossible.
No, you're going to have to play really well.
Yeah, but doable. I keep seeing all this motivation about Texas. We'll get into that. There should still be plenty of motivation on Tech's side.
Mm-hmm.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's time for Ask the Benchwarmers. Bring your questions in right now. Yates Flooring Center chat line. Easiest route for that, tweet us at 107 The Score or dial us up on the Visual Edge IT hotline 806-771-0973. He's Taylor Beadles. I'm Chois Woodman, Lucas White, and intern Maris across the way. Questions for any and all of us are welcome. Quite a few in so far on the chat line. We'll start with this one. Is Taj possibly the best running back Tech has had in the last 20 seasons?
Definitely possible.
I would say I remember DeAndre just being so good too. He had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, which has been a long time since he had that.
I mean, yeah.
I would put them on pretty equal footing.
Yes. Yeah.
They're such different backs. I don't know. I honestly, I'm trying to remember both of them together, but Taj has just been. I don't. DeAndre helped your team a ton. I don't know that he carried you the way Taj has carried this offense.
Well, he also was playing with a guy named Patrick Mahomes.
It helped a lot, sure. And that
a better
offense as a
line.
whole was phenomenal too, with Patrick Mahomes. So better offensive line.
Yeah, I think
was it a better offensive line?
They had NFL guys.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Somebody like Baron Batch deserves a mention here, in my opinion, like in a different type of back. I mean, I loved watching Sir Roderick run, but he's just a different player too. Eric Stevens.
Yeah. But you've had good backs, but yeah, I think if you're going blanket statement, it's either Taj or DeAndre to me in the last 20 years.
Because then like Torian Henderson.
Well, I guess technically he's still within the last 20 years because I would put him there too.
Those are the three though.
Yeah. Because I forgot. I mean, that's technically, it feels 20 years ago. But Torian's last
2002 to 2005.
Yeah.
So still qualifies.
So yeah. But yeah, those are your top three during that stretch for sure. Bench warmers. Where did you go? Has Lucas opened his holiday store yet? That's from Juan. Yes, he has. Over there at Canyon West. Go check out Lucas's store. You gonna be there today?
I'll be there as soon as I leave here.
All right. The Benchwarmers start bench cut sweet potato casserole, baked mac and cheese, fried okra. That is maybe the most random start bench cut. It must be like their favorites at Thanksgiving or
start the sweet potato. What was it?
Casserole.
Sweet potato casserole. Bench.
That's the one with the marshmallows usually on top?
Oh yeah, like pecans,
marshmallows, yeah.
Start that, bench mac and cheese, cut okra.
Start the mac and cheese, bench the okra, cut the casserole. I'm okay with I'll get to dessert when I'm ready to get dessert. They're just trying to disguise a dessert in the middle of a meal. Val, will the game day shows be on Friday? We'll have a variety of them. It's not like the true 12-hour shift that we'll do, but we will have shows on Friday, yes. Now, we'll have some other college football and tech basketball that'll be sprinkled in the day on our airwaves, so just listen in on Friday and you'll be able to catch us. Torian Henderson, yes, he was in the last 20. $5,000 straight up or hit a 3 for $50,000?
Hit a 3 for $50,000.
I'd gamble that.
Yeah.
I don't know. $5,000 straight up would be nice. But $50,000, yeah, I'm gonna take my chances.
I think it's worth
3.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Now, if it was like 5 or 10, yeah, I'll take the 5.
Yeah. I
don't know. I'm pretty confident in my shooting ability.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be at times, but there's those days when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Benchwarmers, if a genie gives you a win over Texas at the expense of a basketball 4-game losing streak, you taking it?
You're talking to the wrong guy here. I would take a 10-game losing streak.
Golly. Your guy Tech Hoops guy is gonna be all over you for that one like a spider monkey.
Yeah.
Gives you. Why is a genie like giving you compromises? Genies are supposed to just grant the wishes. And this is like some dark voodoo stuff. Yeah, I don't know. So what's your next 4 games? The 3 in the Bahamas, and I think Butler. So it's not like you'd be losing to Texas A&M Commerce or somebody like that over that stretch. I think that's correct. Maybe you have a game squeezed in between that. Let's see, basketball.
You could basically
it's the 4 in the Bahamas and then 1 at Butler. So
you could basically offer me anything. You could tell me the basketball team is going to go like 0-for, and I think I'd take it.
Having to sit here every day, I'm not going through a basketball season that.
I really want the last win against Texas.
And I want it, but I don't know if I want it that bad. So we were asked a question, and this is obviously way too late for this, but we were asked a question a couple of weeks ago of trading. Would you have traded the Texas win for losses to Kansas and UCF? So you would have ended up 5 wins on the season, but one of them would have been Texas.
No, you need a bowl game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't want it that bad.
No.
There was a lot of people that were, especially if it kept Texas out of the college football playoff.
Yeah. I get it, but no.
Yeah, I was with you. It's the logical thing. But we're not always logical.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, I think I would trade that. Basketball, year one under a new coach, you can make it, you can sugarcoat it up, and especially if you play some decent opponents in that one in the Bahamas, and losing a road game to Butler would be respectable enough. So, yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it. 4-game losing streak there. And just because they're all non-conference games too.
Yeah.
So they don't weigh as heavily. Take it in the 4-game start this week. Yeah. Torian in that 20-year window, I think I give him the slight edge. Yeah, I think if I'm picking one over the other, I'd still take Torian.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, I believe he still owns the NCAA record for most receptions by a running back.
He's a weapon
in a career.
For sure.
He was definitely able to do quite a bit out of the backfield. Bench warmers. Texas Tech. That's a simple one. Texas Tech wins in Austin if. Not a simple answer, simple question. So this is basically like what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Your stat.
Somebody asked me this on Red Raider Sports earlier, and I said limit splash plays from Texas both offensively and defensively.
Okay.
Win the turnover battle. Score 30 points.
30? Is that the magic number?
Yeah.
What's the magic number to hold Texas to?
Under 30. No.
Well, I mean, honestly, if that's your precipice, that's
if they're I don't think your offense can score more than about 35. So you need to keep them around 30.
Yeah. Feel pretty good about the around 30 number. And there's a lot of different ways this game could go. I truly, and maybe it's just because we're too close to it. If I was a betting man, stay away from this game big time, because I could see Texas Tech just playing the way they have been and keep it close.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they'll win, but keep it close. But I could also see this Texas team hyper motivated for all of those reasons that have been listed, from your mark to last year to actually, playing for a college football title or that's still on the table. All those reasons, they should be pretty motivated. So I could see them come out and play really well.
Yep.
But yeah, this one's probably the toughest game of the year to predict for me. We'll see. We're 2 days away, 3 days away, 2 days away from Thanksgiving. That's what I'm really focused on. Red Raiders and Longhorns on Friday. Only 1 day away from Texas Tech and Villanova in basketball tomorrow. We'll have that game for you about 24 hours from now, a little over 24 hours from now. Until then, we'll pass you off to the bottom line. Taylor, appreciate it, man.
Been good.
That's Taylor Beadles. For Taylor and Lucas, intern Maris, I'm Chois Woodman. You've been tuned in to the End of the Bench right here on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.